In the vastness of space, the medical cruiser Galactic Resolve hummed quietly as it traversed through a distant star system. The crew, a collection of highly trained alien medics from various species, were prepared for anything. Or so they thought. "Incoming human patient," announced the comm system. The news sent a ripple of confusion through the medbay. Humans were known for their resilience, but it was rare for them to request medical assistance from alien races. The medics quickly gathered, their specialized tools ready. Leading the team was Dr. Zener, a cretin with skin that shimmered in the medbay's stereo lighting. His 4 arms moved with precision as he organized the equipment. "Prepare the regenerative fluids," he commanded. "Humans may heal faster than most, but we must be thorough." As the human was wheeled into the medbay, the medics were taken aback. The man, despite deep cuts and severe burns from what looked like a recent battle, wore a calm expression. He was a stark contrast to the usual patients they handled, many of whom would be unconscious or in critical condition with similar injuries. "Name?" asked Dr. Zener, scanning the patient. "Ryan," the man replied, wincing slightly as he shifted on the bed. "But you can call me whatever you like." Dr. Zener studied him, puzzled. "Ryan, your injuries. They're severe. How are you even awake?" Ryan chuckled, the sound strange in the otherwise tense room. "I've had worse. You'd be surprised how fast we humans bounce back." The medical team exchanged uncertain glances. As Dr. Zener prepared to inject Ryan with a painkiller, something astonishing happened. Before their eyes, the cuts on Ryan's arms began to close, slowly but visibly. "Impossible," whispered Vera, one of the younger medics, her antennae twitching in disbelief. Dr. Zener leaned in, inspecting the wound. "This shouldn't be happening. We haven't even started treatment." Ryan grinned. "Yeah, we're full of surprises." The medic's dilemma. As Ryan lay on the operating table, the alien medics continued to monitor his vitals, though none of their usual procedures seemed necessary. Every scan and diagnostic they ran only deepened their confusion. His body was healing itself at an extraordinary rate. Vera, who was in charge of applying regenerative gel, hesitated before she pressed the gel to one of his burns. It fizzled upon contact, disappearing within seconds. Did it evaporate?" Vera asked, baffled. Ryan, with a casual smirk, shrugged. "Guess my body didn't need it." The entire medbay buzzed with disbelief. For a race as advanced as the Cretans, who had mastered bioengineering and medical technology across the galaxy, to be confronted by a human patient healing faster than their state-of-the-art equipment could respond was unheard of. Dr. Zener, ever the professional, tried to regain his composure. "Vera, recalibrate the dermal reweaver. We need to understand the limits of this human healing." Vera rushed to adjust the equipment, but by the time she returned, Ryan was already sitting up, much to the shock of the team. "Hey, Doc," Ryan said casually. "I think I'm good to go." "No," Dr. Zener said firmly, his many eyes narrowing. "You are not. We need to run more tests. You should be incapacitated with injuries like these. Listen, I appreciate the help, but this," Ryan gestured to his bandaged torso, "it's nothing. I've been through worse, and honestly, I'll be up and walking in no time." Vera, still trying to grasp the situation, couldn't help but ask, "What do you mean by worse? These wounds are severe by any standard." Ryan chuckled, his voice still warm despite the strange looks he was receiving. "This? Just a scuffle. Back on Earth, we've got folks who've walked away from ship crashes, laser burns, and more. We're a tough breed. Human healing is alien tech." Despite Ryan's apparent nonchalance, the medics were still determined to understand his accelerated healing. They had never encountered a species that could recover so rapidly from injuries that would cripple most beings. Dr. Zener activated a holographic scan, projecting an image of Ryan's internal systems. What he saw only deepened the mystery. "His cells, they're regenerating at a rate 10 times faster than we've ever recorded in any species," he muttered. Ryan seemed unbothered, swinging his legs over the side of the bed. I told you, we humans have a knack for survival. Vera stared at the holographic display, her wide eyes scanning the data. It's like your body doesn't even acknowledge the injuries as serious. This rate of regeneration is beyond anything we've encountered. Ryan stretched his arms, wincing slightly but standing on his feet. Well, that's humans for you. We've been through wars, plagues, and all sorts of rough patches. We're built to endure. Dr. Zaner was clearly frustrated. Endure, yes. But this defies everything we know about biology. Ryan shrugged. Maybe your tech just needs an update. The comment, while said in jest, struck a chord with the medics. Their technology, designed to heal and preserve life, was among the most advanced in the galaxy. And yet this human was outpacing it, healing faster than their instruments could track. Dr. Zaner crossed his arms, studying Ryan carefully. We'll need more tests. Your body might hold secrets that could advance our medical knowledge by decades. Ryan shook his head. I appreciate the offer, Doc, but I'm not a lab rat. I've got places to be, things to do. A new understanding. Despite Ryan's protests, the alien medics were determined to learn more. Over the next several hours, they ran a series of non-invasive tests, trying to uncover the secret behind his rapid healing. Yet with every scan, every diagnostic, the results remained the same. Ryan's body was regenerating at an unprecedented rate. By the end of the day, Ryan had grown tired of the endless examinations. Look, I get that this is weird for you guys, but trust me, I'm fine. We humans just adapt. Dr. Zaner sighed, finally relenting. Fine. But know this, your species may hold the key to medical breakthroughs we can't even imagine. Ryan grinned. Glad to be of service, Doc. Now, can I go? As the medics watched him leave the medbay, still baffled by what they had witnessed, one thing became clear. Humans, with their extraordinary ability to heal and endure, were far more resilient than any alien species had ever anticipated. The medical cruiser had learned something invaluable that day. Humans were not to be underestimated. Human curiosity meets alien tech. Rand stepped out of the medbay, feeling rejuvenated, if not a little amused by the reactions of the alien medical staff. His easy recovery had clearly shaken their understanding of biology. But now his curiosity was piqued. He had always been fascinated by alien technology, and this ship was a treasure trove of it. The hallways of the Galactic Resolve were a blend of sleek metallic walls and glowing panels that illuminated softly as he walked. Ryan's eyes scanned every detail, from the hovering maintenance drones to the strange, floating data terminals that seemed to hum with energy. It wasn't long before he found his way to what appeared to be the ship's engineering sector. A group of engineers, each from different species, was clustered around a large console, their many limbs and appendages moving in synchronized patterns as they worked on some kind of power core. Ryan, with his natural curiosity, couldn't resist stepping closer to watch. One of the engineers, a four-eyed Valchian, noticed him and raised a brow. "Can we help you?" he asked, his voice a low, resonating hum. "Just looking," Ryan replied with a grin. "This tech is amazing, way more advanced than anything we've got back on Earth." The Valchian blinked, seemingly surprised by the human's casual tone. "Earth, I've heard of your world. Quite primitive compared to ours." Ryan chuckled. "Yeah, we get that a lot. But we make do. Besides, you'd be surprised at how fast we catch up. We may not have fancy power cores like this one," he said, pointing to the massive glowing structure in front of them. "But we got a way of figuring things out." The Valchian seemed intrigued. "Your species is known for its resilience. I assume that's how you survived your injuries so easily." Ryan shrugged. "Something like that. We're tough, sure, but we're also curious. Always pushing the boundaries, you know." The Valchian nodded, though his expression remained skeptical. Curiosity can be dangerous, especially in the wrong hands. Ryan smirked. "Danger's just part of the fun." Just then, An alert sounded throughout the engineering sector. The alien engineers moved quickly, their hands flying across the console. The Valkyan turned to Ryan, his eyes narrowing. "You need to leave. We have a situation." Ryan, ever the stubborn human, "Stay put. What kind of situation?" Before the Valkyan could respond, the ship shook violently, throwing several engineers off balance. Lights flickered, and the soft hum of the power core grew into a deep, unsettling thrum. Ryan instinctively grabbed onto a nearby railing as alarms blared throughout the ship. "What the hell was that?" Ryan asked, his senses immediately on high alert. The Valkyan, now fully engaged with the console, didn't answer. Instead, the screens in front of him filled with data, warning symbols flashing in various alien languages. Ryan could see enough to understand that something was seriously wrong with the ship's power systems. Human ingenuity in crisis. As the ship rocked again, Ryan's military instincts kicked in. He glanced over the shoulder of the Valkyan, quickly processing the situation. "Looks like an overload in your power grid," he said, surprising the engineer. "If that core goes, this whole section of the ship's gonna blow." The Valkyan's eyes widened. "How could you?" "No time for questions," Ryan interrupted, moving to the console. "You've got a fail-safe, right? Some way to vent the excess energy before it overloads." The Valkyan, still shocked by Ryan's grasp of the situation, nodded. "Yes, but the system is failing. The venting mechanisms are locked. We can't release the pressure." Ryan's mind raced. He'd dealt with faulty systems before, albeit on much simpler human ships. But the principles were often the same. "Show me the manual override." The Valkyan hesitated, then quickly brought up a schematic of the ship's engineering bay. Ryan scanned it, spotting the problem. "There. That conduit needs to be rerouted, or your power core's gonna explode." Several of the other engineers began to murmur, clearly unsure of whether to trust this human with their advanced technology. But Ryan's confidence and the urgency of the situation left them little choice. The Valkyan nodded and led Ryan to the console where the manual controls were located. "Here, but you're not certified to operate this kind of tech." Ryan grinned, cracking his knuckles. "Certification's overrated." He moved quickly, his hands flying over the controls. The alien interface was strange, but Ryan adapted fast, his mind piecing together the system's logic. As he worked, the ship shuddered again, and the hum of the power core became more erratic. "We've got maybe a minute before that core goes critical," Ryan muttered. His fingers danced across the controls, rerouting the overloaded systems and disengaging the locked vent mechanisms. Sweat beaded on his forehead as the ship's alarms grew louder, but Ryan kept his focus. He was used to working under pressure. This was just another challenge. Finally, with a sharp click, the system responded. The power core's hum lessened as the excess energy was vented, and the lights in the engineering bay stabilized. Ryan let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. "You did it," the Valkyan said, his voice filled with awe. "You saved the ship." Ryan shrugged, though there was a spark of pride in his eyes. "Like I said, humans are quick learners." Mutual respect. Word of Ryan's actions spread quickly throughout the Galactic Resolve. The human who had baffled the medical team with his rapid healing was now seen as a hero for saving the ship from a catastrophic meltdown. Back in the medbay, Dr. Zaner and the others watched the footage of Ryan's work in the engineering sector. "Unbelievable," Zaner muttered. "Not only does he heal faster than any species we've encountered, but he's capable of understanding and manipulating our technology in ways we didn't think possible." Vira, who had been observing Ryan's vitals earlier, smiled. "Maybe humans aren't as primitive as we thought." Dr. Zaner nodded. "It seems their resilience isn't just physical. Their adaptability, their ingenuity, those are their real strengths." Meanwhile, Ryan was back on his feet, wandering the ship once more. He found himself in the ship's observation deck, staring out at the stars. The vastness of space always humbled him. But it also reminded him of why humans thrived in environments that others found overwhelming. He felt a presence behind him and turned to see Dr. Zanner approaching. "You've been busy," the doctor said, his many eyes blinking thoughtfully. Ryan smirked. "Had to help out. You guys have some amazing tech, but sometimes it just takes a little human touch to get things running smoothly." Dr. Zanner chuckled, a sound Ryan hadn't expected from the usually stoic alien. "Indeed, you've given us much to think about, Ryan. Your species. You're not like any other we've encountered." Ryan turned back to the stars, his expression contemplative. "Yeah, we get that a lot. But that's what makes us human. We adapt, we survive, and we never stop pushing forward." The doctor nodded, a newfound respect in his gaze. "Perhaps there's much we can learn from each other." As Ryan looked out at the stars, a grin spread across his face. "I think we've only just begun."